Hey there, we're so glad you're joining us back for Mom and Daughter Mondays. I'm Camille Cates. I'm the Assistant Director for Healing Hearts Ministries International. And this girl right here is my daughter, Phoebe Cates. Thank you for joining us again for week 2. This is episode 2. Why can't we just talk on godly communication? So Phoebe's going to start us out with a great verse from James.
Yes, it's James 1:19, and it reads, "Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters, you must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry."
So Phoebe's going to hit on a couple of points in helping us with godly communication that relate back to that verse.
Yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is active listening. So a lot of times when you're in an argument and you're in conflict, you're wanting to make this quick comeback to try and get your point across, when really we're talking to understand the other person. So when you're sitting there, when you're in the midst of conflict, make sure you're asking good questions, not sneaky little questions to try and get your point in. Good, thoughtful questions that kind of convey that you are listening to the other person, even nodding your head and things like that to show that you want to work together. You're on the same team in this conflict. It's not you against the other person. It's how can we work through this together. And the other thing I want to talk about is being a daughter and having a mom. Sometimes moms can tend to lecture on a little bit, and we understand the passion. We understand, the concern and the care, and that's all good. But if you're going on a little bit long and you can kind of see eyes glaze over, not really paying attention, kind of like, are we done yet? Then maybe work on bullet points instead of paragraphs. You want to make sure that you are honoring God as a parent and that you're really wanting to genuinely help your daughter or son, but you really kind of make sure you're not droning on too long, or else it's just going to be like a pain every time mom wants to talk to me about this. It's going to be, when is mom done talking about this, instead of what exactly is the meaning behind what she's saying.
Yeah, and Mom, you're going to tell that you've been a lecturer if you say, hey, we need to sit down and talk. She rolls her eyes or sighs really big. That might be a clue. I tend to be a bit of a lecturer. So really confess that. Last week we talked about confessing our mess to the Lord, but we can also confess our messes to each other. It's a good way to humble yourselves and to show that you have a desire to love one another well and to truly try and connect. So confess. I've been a lecturer in the past. I need to get bullet points. Mom, sometimes write those. I'm a verbal processor, so it's easy for me to drone on. I mean, that's what Phoebe's talking from experience, but sit down with bullet points and really think through, what is it that I want to communicate with my daughter? What questions, like she said, do I need to ask to help me be an active listener? Okay, let me throw you a couple of points to maybe daughters. Don't tune out your mom. Okay, and I know that's going to be hard if she tends to be a lecturer, but if you're tuning her out, if you're just starting from the get-go, not listening, just like, how long do I have to get through this? You're thinking about, when can I get back to Instagram or Snapchat or onto my next Netflix binge, and you're tuning her out, you're not showing her love and you're not seeking to restore the relationship. So you may need to ask her, make a godly appeal. A lot of times, like, Mom, can I stop you just one second before we start talking? In the past, I tend to listen to you better when you give me one or two blurbs. Moms, we got to remember, we're living in a text age, and everything is quick, short messages. That's sometimes how our minds have learned to assimilate information. And so really those bullet points are important. Daughters say, can you give me like a text point? Can you give me something short? Mom, let me think about it. I promise that I'll pray about it. And then maybe we can come back later to have another discussion. Daughters, ask questions too. That's going to help you keep from tuning out. So that's 1.1. Last point. This is for both moms and daughters. Tone. We say things a lot of times, and there's a tone in our hearts. Our words may be right, but man, I don't know about you guys, but my ears are really sensitive, and I can pick up a tone like that. And so tones tell the attitude of the heart. And remember last week, if you tuned in last week about clean or messy, it's all about the heart. You know that that's what God cares about the most. We can communicate with the best and most poetic of words, but if there's a sharp tone, if there's a disinterested or an apathetic tone, to our words. If there's annoyed or frustration in our tone, that's going to communicate in a way that's not godly. So before you sit down to talk as moms and daughters, what's a great idea to do first? What do you think, Phoebes?
Probably pray.
Yeah, pray. Pray, Lord, help me with my words. Help me to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and then that's going to help you to be slow to be angry. So thanks for joining us this week. We hope that you'll tune in with us next week. Episode 3, we're going to be discussing, does she even know me?
We're going to be talking about getting to know each other.
So we'll see you then. Thanks. Bye. Have a great week. To learn more about walking together with your mom or daughter, go to our website, healinghearts.org, and check out our video resources, Walking Together for Mothers and Daughters Growing in Christ.